Are your erectors getting pumped and crampy during lagging leg curls? I'm gonna show you how to fix it. All right guys, lagging leg curls, one of my absolute favorite hamstring exercises, despite most people hating on it in the fitness community saying, oh, seated superior. It doesn't matter to me. I love lagging leg curls, and I'm gonna do them weekly. It's just the truth. And what's funny is most of these dirtbags preaching seated leg curls are better don't have hamstring hang. If you're gonna say an exercise is trash, you better have the muscle to prove it that what you're doing is working, or I'm just not gonna believe it, I'm sorry. Now let's start teaching and enough ranting. On this lagging leg curl, we have 3 different ways, or I've heard 3 different coaching cues on how to fix this. I'm gonna show you all 3 right now. All right, so what I wanna think about for setup, I wanna put right above my knee on this pad here. So literally right that space above my kneecap, I'm gonna put right on that joint, I'm gonna ride into that. So here, and then I'm good to go. From here, what I want to think about is lock in with my upper body. So I want to force my chest into this pad. We do that by grabbing the handles. So let me show you a couple of these reps. Pull into the handles, squeeze, hamstrings. Hamstrings. All right, let's say when this starts to get hard, I start to shoot my hips up. So it's here, you see that move? Hips up. Hips up. Now, what most coaches are going to tell you to do here is squeeze my glutes. So I'm going to get him to swing behind and I'll teach this. All right, so this is my glutes relaxed. If I want to turn my glutes on and squeeze in, you see how I squeeze that like an RDL? And then now squeeze. This just never felt good to me. I just felt awkward and I didn't feel like I had a lot of power when I squeezed my glutes together and trying to force my hips in. So instead of that, what I want to think about is if I'm getting my erectors into this and driving my hips up, which is going to shorten my lower back, how can I prevent that? Well, that's by contracting the antagonistic muscle, right? Or it's a big fancy word for the opposite side of the body, right? So the antagonistic muscle to my triceps is biceps. So if my erectors are contracting and I want them to be relaxed, guess what has to contract? My abs. So how do I do a crunch? Shorten sternum to belly button. So here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get on this lagging leg curl and I'm gonna shorten my abs and then crush my hamstrings. Let me show you that. All right, from here, lock in, crunch, now squeeze. That's my preferred method. So if you're having a hard time getting that coaching cue of glutes in, try shortening your abs. Now, the third one is gonna require a partner. So let's Chaz set up the camera and I'll show you what we want to do. So this third option here is probably my favorite of all of them, right? But it requires a training partner. So all you would do is essentially think about giving CPR to someone's low back, right? I'm gonna get Chaz got both of his hands, drove down on my erectors, and that forces my hips into the pad. So as you can see on every single rep there, I'm not allowed to raise my hips because it's being driven into the pad by his hands by manual resistance. So of all 3 options, that's my favorite. But if you train alone, that's why I showed you option 1 and 2. So employ these to your next day, you do your lagging leg curls, and I promise you will stop feeling your erectors take over. Now, let's say for example, you do all these techniques and your erectors are still in it. All day long, cut the weight in half, nail your form. Once you get to a load where you start feeling your erectors kick on, get your camera out on your phone, film it, and I want you to see what you're doing with your body. If those hips are coming up, you have to stay at a weight that you can control, because in my mind, what I'm thinking about here when I'm doing these is if your lower back is cutting on, it's because your hamstrings are getting tired or they aren't strong enough to move the load that you have on there. So go back to the weight where only your hamstrings are working and stick with that until you are strong enough to progress up, or I guess technically progress down the weight stack. If you like this video, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, Chris TV.